Hi, everybody. Welcome to the locker room. We are in the middle of maybe the busiest time of high school sports. You have football wrapping up, the playoffs were announced, or the playoff brackets, I should say. You have volleyball, which is shooting for state championships this weekend, and you have basketball, which starts this week. And we did a lot related to basketball. Today's show is going to feature a preview of all of our local high schools related to their women's and men's basketball programs. We were fortunate this past Friday to have all of the coaches from the local area here in our locker room, and we spoke to them a little about what we might expect from their team. So you're going to hear a lot of that today. We are going to tell you a little bit about the playoffs related to football and volleyball. But first, it's Monday, and we know if it's Monday, it's a special Monday. So we turn to our crack guy, Dustin Roby Show. What is this Monday?
Happy Sesame Street Day, Stan.
Sesame Street Day.
Sesame Street. Did you watch that? Well,
No, it was probably right after me. That's when, Jim Henson started probably becoming sort of famous at the time. And God, I hate to date myself. But listen, it was popular for my
for your
children.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, my kids. It was actually starting to be less popular. We started getting into the Teletubbies. Do you think there ever will be like a Teletubbies Day or
A Teletubbies Day. It's got to be. They have to have one.
and what's the guys? Some guys, I can remember this when my children were little. Some guys from Australia who sang. I
Oh,
can't read.
and they wore different colors.
And they wore different colors.
I did not remember.
Sort of like the Teletubbies a little.
The Australian Teletubbies.
But I will say this, Sesame Street always was very educational.
Yes, it was. Oh, I loved it as a kid. I loved the puppets and the animation, and I just thought it was a very creative show.
You like the artistic part.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. Sesame Street Day.
Yeah.
I still like National Sugar Day, or had all of those a couple of weeks ago. As I did mention, we do have brackets for both volleyball and football. First, let's talk about volleyball, because volleyball comes to a conclusion this upcoming weekend, right? On Saturday, there are going to be state championship matches held at the Cajun Dome in Lafayette. And hopefully, we have a few teams from our Bayou region involved with that. First, let's take a look at the 2A bracket. South Lafourche moved on. They were the number 4 seed. They will be there playing on Thursday in the quarterfinals. Tough match. They're going to take on number 5, Natchitoches Central. Natchitoches Central is 32-3 on the year. Really good team out of the northern part of Louisiana. But listen, I mean, South Lafourche is 30-8, and they played a really good schedule. That match is slated to start at 3:40 in the Cajun Dome. So if you want to go out and see the Lady Tarpons play on Thursday in quarterfinal action, 3:40 is the start time. In Division 3, we have 2 teams who are still in the bracket, both Vanderbilt Catholic and E.D. White. E.D. White is the number 6 seed. They got a tough one. They're going to take on the number 3 seed, Parkview Baptist out of Baton Rouge. There is a Parkway that's in Shreveport. There is a Parkview that is in Baton Rouge. They're obviously playing Parkview Baptist. That is a start time of noon. So they're going to play that one at noon. There are 3 courts set up on the floor of the Cajun Dome. And so you'll see 3 different matches going on. E.D. White's match starts at noon. E.D. White is 28-11 on the year. Parkview Baptist is 31-10, and Parkview Baptist is a traditional power, no doubt. Also in that same bracket, it's number 10 Vanderbilt Catholic taking on, again, a juggernaut, number 2 Archbishop Hannon. Archbishop Hannon is 34-10. They are a team that has been in the finals the last couple of years, so it's not going to be easy for Vanderbilt Catholic for sure. We hope that those teams all advance. Again, if you win on Thursday, you play in the semis on Friday. If you win on Friday, you play in the final on Saturday. It's as simple as that going forward. In football, the pairings were announced on Sunday morning. We have those pairings for you real quick. First, in Division 1 non-select football, Terrebonne High is our local highest seed. They are at number 9. They will be hosting number 24, Natchitoches Central. So Natchitoches Central volleyball is going to be playing South Lafourche. Natchitoches Central football going to be playing Terrebonne. That is going to be at Tom B. Smith. Natchitoches Central is 6-4 on the year. I don't think Terrebonne should have too much trouble in round one. Thibodeau High goes in at number 15. They're going to get to host also. They will be hosting number 18, Mandeville. Mandeville is 6-4. This is a repeat of last year's first round game where Mandeville got the win, but this year I think it's going to be flip-flopped. I think Thibodeau gets the win this year. And finally, number 23, South Lafourche High School has got to travel to number 10, West Monroe. West Monroe is always extremely good, and it's tough when you got to get on a bus and you got to travel almost 6 hours to go play West Monroe in that first round game. Let's see what happens. West Monroe's 7-3 this year. Then we move to Division II non-select. In Division II non-select, we only have one local bioregion team who made the bracket. That's South Terrebonne. South Terrebonne goes in at number 18. What does that mean? That means you got to get on the road, and you are on the road playing Northwest. Northwest is a school that was established in about 1990. They're in the Opelousas area. So South Terrebonne will be going to take on a 6-4 Southwest team. Not a crazy good team. They're only the number 15 seed, but South Terrebonne is still young, and they're still trying to get some things together. So this is, I think, an opportunity for that team. Then we go to the select division schools. And locally, I think we have two teams that could possibly move on a good ways in the bracket, and that would be Vanderbilt Catholic and E.D. White. Vanderbilt Catholic, the number 6 seed, E.D. White, the number 8 seed. I know a lot of people are saying, how does that happen? E.D. White beat Vanderbilt and won the district championship. That's the way PowerPoints work. You have to set up your schedule in a conducive way. I think that probably E.D. White set it up in a way to be ready for that game against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just beat everybody they had on the schedule, so it sort of is what it is. Vanderbilt's going to have a bye. They're going to be waiting to take on the winner of Carver and Livingston, two teams which Vanderbilt will crush in the second round of the playoffs. And then it'll get a little tougher for Vanderbilt from there, but I think they have an extremely good draw. I think they'll be in great shape in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I think any team other than Vanderbilt that has a chance is in the top of the bracket. That's how I think Vanderbilt's in a really good situation. E.D. White, probably not as in good a situation. They do have a bye. They do play the winner of St. Michael's and Laranger next week. They will win that game handily. Then it gets tough. They'd have to take on the number 1 seed, St. Charles Catholic. Again, in that side of the draw, you got St. Charles Catholic, you got University, you got Madison Prep. So the top of that bracket is very tough. Then we go to Division 4. In Division 4, CCA's got a bye. So they'll be taking it easy the first week, but in the second week, they'll have to play the winner out of St. Edmunds and Lincoln Prep. St. Ed's probably the winner in that game. They are the higher seed, pretty good football program, but I do think Covenant Christian can get by them. I think it'll be that third round game for Covenant Christian where they're going to have to really play well. And finally, Central Catholic out Morgan City. They made the playoffs too. They're at number 23. They're going to have to travel to Baton Rouge to take on Southern Labs. Southern Labs good, folks. That's going to be an interesting one. Central Catholic made the playoffs, by the way, at 3-7 this year. So, it's a deal in these days where everybody makes the playoffs. I don't know how else to say it. Just about everybody makes the playoffs. I shouldn't say everybody. Just about everybody makes the playoffs. We'll keep an eye on all of them. Of course, next Friday, we'll report on exactly what happened. Hopefully, we win, come back with a volleyball state championship, and we have a bunch of football teams moving on to the second round. I mentioned we had all the basketball coaches from the local area, and they talk a little bit about their teams and what we might expect this upcoming year. Let's jump right into that. I'm happy to be with Javon Robinson, head coach of the Ellendale Memorial Lady Patriots. Thanks for being here, first of all. I know it's a busy school day and everything with that. Talk a little bit about how it's been. Y'all are practicing for this upcoming season. You win a state championship a couple of years ago, and then it got young on you real quick. Has that progressed any?
Yes. After the state championship game, we had a returning squad that was older still, and things just didn't go our way due to their injuries and things like that. So we lost like second round of playoffs. And then after that, that's when the huge drop of you could say the youth came in. Well, I didn't get many freshmen coming in over my first 3 years. I was getting one freshman a year coming in from the feeder schools, which after the storm, they actually took a hit as well. So the feeder school programs, and last year I got a bunch of kids to come in and try the game of basketball they never played before. And unfortunately we didn't win a game last year, but the growth that those kids showed, as a basketball coach, you still have to teach and develop and things like that. And through each and every game practice, they worked. They started to understand the game more and more. And like down to have 3 seniors, 4 juniors. But for the bulk of the team, it's mainly sophomores and freshmen.
You're still building that infrastructure.
Yeah.
You're getting it all together.
Still in the foundation now of where.
If you had to pinpoint a strength, something you think y'all are going to do good this year, something that's going to be maybe your go-to on your team, is it in the post? Is it outside shooting?
Defense.
Defense.
We worked on defense a lot this offseason. That's what we emphasized on the most. And that's what I got the girls. It's the fastest thing to understand with basketball. It's you got to put in hours and hours when you talk about focusing on training for offense. When it comes to basketball, that comes with time. Defense, if a kid's athletic, they're strong, and they have some knowledge and understanding of what to do, how to stop people, then that I think that's the easiest thing to teach first when it comes down to basketball.
It is my pleasure to be sitting with Cornell Scott, head basketball coach for the Ellender Memorial Patriots, a team that was number 14 ranked in the state last year, according to PowerPoint rankings. Have you ever figured out the PowerPoint thing, how to schedule to get the most efficient PowerPoints?
No, we just schedule a tough schedule. We try to schedule those people that really going to give us a challenge because early in the season, we just playing, but we try to prepare for the playoffs.
Well, that was pretty evident in your schedule last year.
Yeah.
I think y'all got better and better. Things happen in spurts a little bit, but it was a situation because for the last probably 3 years, we always knew you were sort of you always had a great infrastructure, but you were making it solid again. And I think it's sort of the fruition is coming forth, so to speak, right?
Yeah, it is. And, the guys have been working hard. And the thing is that I have a lot of football players. So it's like when I give them back, they have to get back in basketball shape and they have to get accompanied to what we're doing. So it kind of takes them a little while. So that's why I say what you see in January, in January it's different from what was in December, November, because by January they're back in the system, they're understanding what we're doing, and we're trying to.
So let's go back to summer and into the fall. You happy with the way things have been progressing?
Yes, in summer we had a great summer. We kind of put the kids in some situations, play some teams, and just kind of trying to get identity of what we want to do.
Very good. Very good. If I leave one of your games, I'm going to walk away impressed with what about Ellender basketball? What's going to be that thing I'm going to say, ooh, they do that well?
They play hard. They play hard.
Get after it.
Yeah, they get after it. They play hard. They play aggressive, and they know what they want to do on the basketball court.
It's funny when I'm addressing this to a lot of the other coaches, I'm thinking what they might say. And when I thought about this questioning you, and that is at the end of the year, when you look back, what will you consider to be success? What is a successful season? And I thought, man, Cornell is going to say, just so I don't have to go to Bossier, for a playoff game, right?
Yes.
So third round of the playoffs, you go to Bossier again.
Yeah.
It always seems to be going up north for some reason.
Uh-huh.
That being said, is it getting past the quarterfinal round? Is it winning a district championship, or is it just about something else?
For us, it's just getting there and putting forth our best effort. I feel if I could get in the playoffs, I'm gonna make some noise. And shout out to Coach Collins at Bossier, but I don't want to go back up there. But if I do, we're gonna go and play. And we had a shot last year, and the kids have a bad taste. So the last time we had a bad taste, we came out and we blew them out.
I'm happy to be joined by Cassidy Barrios, head coach of the Terrebonne High Lady Tigers, the number 23 seed last year. Had a really good year from your first year to your second year, and you sort of knew that. You knew that you had to be patient, I would say, a little bit. That being said, it still grows because you're still not really like this ultra mature team, right? You're still fairly young, right?
Yes, we have, I think, 4 upperclassmen between juniors and seniors, and everything else is freshmen and sophomores. So we're definitely young.
Interestingly enough, you're just coming out of volleyball where you were an assistant in volleyball, but I'm wondering in some kind of way, although it does take you maybe away from basketball a little bit, does it also sort of help because you had what obviously you were in the playoffs in volleyball, so it's successful. You some of those girls you're going to see in your program. Do you think that's a good transition?
Oh, yes. I mean, it keeps the girls active. You know, obviously they're not in basketball at the moment, but they've been working every day. I mean, their jumps have been getting higher just from being on the volleyball team. They've been active and they've been hungry, which is a big thing. So I think the transition to basketball will be easy for them. They're athletes and they want to win. So
You feel good about things, or is basketball a process where you know that it's not about necessarily November and December, it's more about January, February, March?
oh, of course, it's always like a slow climb to, you know, what you're trying to get to. But again, I think the summer was a big piece for us as far as getting a lot of plays in and getting them acclimated with each other. So it'll be a lot of just conditioning, getting them to that basketball shape, and that we'll just go over the plays that, you know, that they were used to during the summer. So it'll be quick, but again, they're ready for it and we're excited for it.
And I do want to correct myself. You're actually the 18 seed. You were 23 wins on the year. And I'm thinking with 23 wins to be the 18 seed, do you understand all of this with scheduling now and how to do this?
Yes, I definitely scheduled a little bit different than last year. Last year I felt like we had a lower scale schedule as far as when we got to the playoffs. We had a lot of wins, but a lot of those wins were, you know, against teams that didn't have the big power points. So this year we have a much tougher schedule, and so we'll be, you know, challenged every game, and it'll get us prepared for the playoffs, and we can get us some big wins during the year, and then going into the playoffs, you know, maybe catch those teams again, or, you know, just have a better experience into the playoffs. I think the biggest thing for us is that we'll be a threat at every position. We have a lot of girls that, you know, are versatile in a way, but I think at the guard spot and the post spot that we'll be very dynamic in that and be, you know, a problem for teams. So it's like we don't have a girl that they're going to stop and then we're good. Like we have girls that could go off for 20 each game and you never know who it's going to be. So I think that'll be our biggest aspect going into this year.
I am very happy to be joined by Brandon Brown, head coach of the Terrebonne High Tigers, the number 23 seed, a tough loss to Southside. Hate to bring that up in the first round of playoffs. Have you figured out this PowerPoint scheduling and how to most efficiently get PowerPoints? Or do you just have to just schedule it and let it play?
I can't say I figured it out, but I have just got a feel for it. So I ain't perfected like probably Coach Keefe or Coach Jaworski Coleman, but I got a feel for it. I want to make sure we playing some tough teams that's going to get some wins, and we're going to play teams that are technically on our level or below our level to, you know, just fill out the roster and the schedule, and making sure that we're able to get the guys confidence on teams that we kind of should be favorites in and maybe get a win, and teams that we are going to be underdogs and we have to persevere through and get a win.
Happy with the summer and all of this time in the fall leading up to next week?
Things haven't been going smoothly as I expected to go. We had a great summer. We started off pretty good, and in the middle was kind of rough, and then we finished really good. But the update from like August and now, you know, without our football players, we kind of stagnant a little bit. But we do have some players that's just basketball only. But the practices haven't been as competitive as I like, because, you know, I'm a competitor, and in order to be great, you got to have that iron sharpens iron. I don't want the more experienced kids beating up on the younger kids and thinking, hey, that's going to work when you play against those tough competition guys.
What's going to be your strengths? When we go see Terrebonne, what are we going to look at and say they do that really well?
I can't pinpoint one specific thing. You know, we're known for our defense, so I'm not going to mention that. That's for us. That's going to be like breathing. So I won't say it's our strength. That's just our identity. But our depth is going to be one of our strengths, because we have so many good players. It can be our strength, and it's also going to be our weaknesses of good player. Maybe not getting them in as many minutes one game and becoming frustrated. So it's on our coaching staff and myself to make sure we manage those personalities and those egos, that they are good players and they want to help provide for our team. But, you know, the flow of a game, player X might be a little bit better. I mean, ultimately, it's the playoffs. We would love to get, 2 to 3 wins, hopefully a bye, and then 2 to 3 wins and get to Lake Charles, because we do have a good team. And I think it's all going to be about our conditioning, our attention to detail. The coaching has to be there, when to sub, when not to sub, when to press the guys, when not to press them, you know, and it's going to be up to us, because I think that we
most coaches look for having like a lot of good players in a room. I have that. So I got to make sure I manage them well and, put the pieces together.
Very happy to be joined by Raven Barrett, head coach of the Lady Gators program over at South Terrebonne High School. A good year last year, 14-14. When you consider sort of the history, I'll let you analyze it. How did you feel when it was your first year doing it?
I believe we did really well last year. We're aiming to go higher this year. We want to at least make it, hopefully, to state. We're praying we can make it there, but we have a good group of girls coming back. Our girls are coming back. It was, I would say, a good season from where those girls started, especially my seniors.
I think you have Sinai Stokes coming back. You have Raleigh Arsenault coming back. Do you consider yourself now to be experienced, or it's still sort of young with a mix in there?
We have a high upperclassmen, but we also have a lot of freshmen coming in. Our freshman class is very big, but they're hungry. They want to learn. They want to learn from those upperclassmen how to do this, how to do that. And it's just a good mix, and I just love them all. They just all get on so well.
You made it into the playoffs last year. You're a number 23 seed. That being the case, I mean, you lose the first round game, but doesn't that teach you something? Doesn't that give them something to strive for?
It did, because the girls weren't used to going and playing on the other side of the lake and how handsy they were. The girls kept saying they're hand checking, but they weren't calling it. I was like, we're going to go play more games on the other side of the lake so that y'all can get used to how the officials call, just to see, okay, we know we can push our limits, but we can't do this. So I'm like, we have to go out and venture out of our comfort zones and start playing other teams to see how they play against us.
Stress. If I go watch South Terrebonne play, what is going to be the thing y'all do well? Or the things y'all will do well?
Communicate. The other day we had a little practice squad, inner squad, and the five stepped on the court. Riley, Meg, Makaya, Cariana, and Sanaya. Those five stepped on the court, and it was like they hadn't lost a beat from Lakeshore. They were still talking, running the court, and my freshmen were like, what is going on?
I am very happy to be joined by Caleb White, head basketball coach over at South Terrebonne. I didn't realize this when I was looking at the bio sheet. Like 10 years?
Been a decade, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I do have to ask you this, too. You, which I think is awesome, decided to go back to help with football a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to be there for some signings y'all had the other day. You were getting after it in basketball for just a little while, but I know those times you sort of have to manage time and all of that. Is it easy? Is it tough?
It's a challenge, but for me this year, I'd say 75% of my team plays football.
Oh.
So knowing that, and then wanting me to go out and help them with football, it was kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, you got to manage your time well, and you got 1 foot here, 1 foot there. But it is what it is. You got to make it work. The guys who are not playing football, they can earn some playing time.
Yeah.
And I can build some depth, and I can get some guys sharper who maybe I didn't think I was going to rely on, so that when we get everybody back, I think we're a little bit deeper and we're a little bit more competitive in practice.
So if I go watch South Terrebonne, describe what I'll be seeing. What's going to be your forte? What's going to be your strength, you think?
I think we have a lot of athleticism this year. Normally I'm a slow it down kind of guy, and we try to control possessions, but I think with this year's team, we're going to try and get up and down the floor pretty quickly, which will be new for us, but I'm excited about it.
Very good. At the end of the year, when you look back at your season and you're just reflecting, what would be success for you? Some folks, it's a win-loss record, right? They care about that. Some folks, it's just, I wanted to be better at this. What would you consider to be success?
I mean, last year was kind of a foundational year. We won 10 games, which was good for us because we had 2 down years after being really good before that. So for us to make the playoffs, I think is a realistic goal, and that's my expectation going into the year.
I am very happy to be sitting with Kathy Luke, the head coach of the Lady Tarpons at South Lafourche High School. Starting to get a little ring to it.
Yes,
starting
it is.
to get some traction. I've been wanting to ask you this, and if we talked about this personally at some point, forgive me, but I would love for these folks to know. you got to sit out a little while and just go to high school basketball games and just see it as an objective point of view. Has it made you better, you think?
I think so. Yeah. You know, you get a different perspective when you're not coaching and you're just watching the game. And the one thing that I really did realize from going to the games was how important fundamentals are. You know, we always know that, but I was a little bit disappointed in the fundamentals of the game as a spectator. So as a coach, especially coming into South Lafourche, you know, that was something that I knew that we were really going to focus on, was just the fundamentals of the game.
Think about the places you've been and being there now. We had always heard, and when I say we, just, you know, in general, always a great little basketball school at South Lafourche. And shouldn't even say little, a great basketball school. Always a good culture. What have you found in these last 6 months?
That's absolutely correct. People on the bayou, the girls that I have, they're hardworking kids, hardworking people. They want nothing for free. They work for everything they have. That's something that I really believe in. And so, you know, I've told people this, and I've said it when you and I were on HTV. I want the people of South Lafourche to be able to relate to the Lady Toppins. We're going to be hardworking. We're going to get after it. They're going to be able to identify with what we're doing. They're going to be proud of us. And so, yeah, that's the kind of team I want. You know, people say 5-star athletes. Well, if you have a 5-star athlete that doesn't work very hard, I'll take a 2-star athlete who works hard, who gives me everything they have. Now I got something. I've got something I can really work with. So, you know, that's really what I found. These people are just passionate about everything they do. I think our strength is our balance. I think we have good guard play and good post play on the offensive end of the court. Defensively, I really feel like we're balanced in the fact that we can play a full court pressure defense, but we can also move to the half court and contain people. So I just think the overall balance between the guards and the post and our ability to, you know, play full court and half court is something that is going to help us find success this year.
Very happy to be joined by Keegan Pokley, head basketball coach over at South Lafourche and athletic director. Thanks for being here, taking a little time.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful year last year. You guys went over 20 games.
The transition was easy for me. The transition was smooth for me. The kids bought in pretty early, and it was a wonderful year, like you said.
You're the 11 seed. You go to the second round. Tough Ruston team. Ruston's been really good for the last couple of years. Do you learn something from it? Because you got a lot of seniors coming back this year.
Yeah, look, you learned that every game it has a start, it has a finish. So we went ahead, probably didn't start as what we wanted to, but I think we finished the game really well. I really think we're going to take that learning experience, the travel, the long travel, if we have to do that again this year, understanding that, look, you're going into an environment that's very similar to our environment. We just got to go ahead and lock in from the beginning. I think the kids learned that. I think the kids are going to come with some motivation. I think the kids are going to come with some confidence starting this year.
Second year as a head coach on the varsity level, does that mean you did your scheduling differently? Did you learn something?
Yeah, we kind of kept it the same a little bit, but all in all, we tried pulling some teams that really didn't get us much power points, and we added to teams that we think we could compete with, but also on a higher level of talent. And I think traveling to those teams could help us out.
You got a good mix of those really athletic kids who are going to come into you from football, and you got kids that are primarily basketball players. How has that worked leading up to the start of the season?
So, look, we started practice in August, and then we really jumped in it probably the last month. And the kids are working hard. The non-football players are really working hard. They're setting the tones when the football players come back. They got something to look forward to, but they're going to have to earn their spot. But I really like where we at. I really like our mindset going in. I think we're going to have a really successful year. Coach Young and his staff is doing an excellent job with those guys, and I really think it will. I think even volleyball right now with the morale that volleyball is bringing to our school. So I really think those two sports right now is building up our morale at school, cross country too, as well as swimming. It's just a good spot at Southwoods right now.
If I go see the Tarpons play this year and I walk out the gym, what is the one thing I'm going to be most impressed with?
You're going to say, "Whoo, that's some intensity." I really think our defensive intensity right now is something that sets us apart. I think we're going to have a lot of depth. I think we're going to be able to rotate kids in and out. And I think each one of them, when they step on the court, they're going to bring the intensity that's needed in order to make a run in the playoffs.
I am happy to be joined by Catherine Ward, head coach of the CCA Lady Lions basketball program. It's good to welcome you. I know this is your first year doing this. Tell us a little bit about how it's been so far.
So far, it's been really nice. Just kind of getting to know the school and the girls and everything. It's a blessing to be a part of the school. You know, the Lord opened the doors for me to be here. I've been a part of Covenant Church since my family moved here. So to be coaching basketball at the school is really a blessing.
It's like part of being a part of the ministry, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's our church's biggest ministry is what they'll say that school is. So
very good. Very good. Listen, it was a good year for them last year too. 21 wins on the year. Does that sort of put any undue pressure?
Right. So they lost two big players last year. Both are at LC now. So that is a difference. But I'm hoping to come in and kind of build up the rest of the girls and make them feel comfortable playing without them and like being leaders on the court. We also had some transfers come in that are pretty promising. So I'll be excited to put them into the mix next year. They'll be JV only this year. Because we're, you know, a full school K through 12, I have my hands in the middle school program as well. And so there's a lot of promise there, you know, for the upcoming years. Right now we're practicing, we've been using Andrew Price Gym because volleyball has Schriever. Now that volleyball season is over, us and the boys will be kind of bouncing back and forth. So some days I'll be at Andrew Price, some day I'll be at Schriever.
Do you share a lot of the volleyball girls with
Yes,
your basketball
yes.
program?
So it being such a small school, kind of all of the athletes play everything. So I have quite a few volleyball players, cheerleaders, dance team, cross country. They're kind of all over the place doing things.
Because that's kind of neat. If I go watch the Lady Lions play this week and I walk out of that gym, what's the one thing I'm going to say about your team?
Hopefully that they play together and they're a family. I really want them to keep their heads and keep their heart, you know, through the ups and the downs. You know, you got to push through the hard parts of the games and not get down on yourselves. And I think a lot of these young girls, they struggle sometimes with when things go wrong, picking themselves back up and continuing to play. You know, you're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect. You just got to get the next play. And so I hope that that's what I can instill in them, that just to be strong through it all.
Happy to be sitting with Troy Jackson, head basketball coach at CCA. A team last year, they got better and better as the year went on because you actually started the year knowing you had the injury bug, right? You had
I did.
Kid, yeah.
I did.
But it got better, and I think it may be even, now that you look at this year, may have created a little depth along the way too, huh?
I think it did. Last year we started with the South Terrebonne game. I lost Bailey with our point guard for, you know, several games. But when we got healthy, we clearly got better, especially when we got to district play. And in district play, we lost that first one against Central Catholic, but we got stronger and stronger. And, you know, we were lucky enough to win the district, but they played really good basketball as we kept going.
And got in the playoffs too. We
Yes.
want to make sure we mention that it was a playoff year again for CCA in basketball. This year, look, football at the end of the year, and we talked about this with Coach Ward. It's a situation where you're going to have to share athletes, and you're going to have a lot of those kids who are in football. But this year, they come into you more healthy out of football. Is that a fair statement?
I think so, yeah. I'm working in the gym right now. I got a lot of them that are JV players, not playing football. But my varsity team, the bulk of them, the heart of my varsity team is playing football. So I won't see them until December, really. Maybe get them in there just to shoot on the machine a little bit. But other than that, practices, we won't see them until December.
So does that affect the way you set up your early schedule?
It does. All right. So we don't really start playing till December the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. So we try to get that week, try to get those weekends, get as many practices in as we can to install what we need to install. A lot of it is just basic basketball that they're going to know anyway because they played. We got some new stuff that we're putting in. Coach Brown is out there with me. That's been one great experience to have Coach Brown out there. He sees things, I see things, and we kind of work a lot of work together. But I think it's going to be a great collaboration of us because we both a little bit. We sit down and laugh a lot. Who were older, younger, and older, how we handle things. So it does affect how I do things, but I think it's going to be fine though.
And he is talking about Ernie Brown, Hall of Famer from the area coach. I'm thinking of him. He always had guys that may have been in football, but maybe not the numbers. Is that sort of hard for him to swallow sometimes that all the kids are not there all at one time, or does he understand the plight of being a single A school?
I can't tell because when I'm watching him in practice, when we practice, he's still going hard.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. We getting the boys that are in there. We getting them ready to play. I do have some boys that are seniors that are varsity players, but I don't have enough to floor a team. But we're still working hard to get those boys ready. And they're gonna be a couple of steps ahead of everybody else when we put the other pieces in. But he's going hard when we're in there. He focuses on the offense. I focus on the defense, and we kind of work off of that. So
I am happy to be here with Gage Griffin, head basketball coach at Central Lafourche High School. Gage, I got to tell you, I was thinking about this the other day, 2 years ago, and of course your brother was one of the stars of the team.
Yeah.
I knew you lost a lot of senior talent that year. You go into last year, things got better as the year went on. You saw your team get stronger and stronger. How does that sort of equate now, 2 years removed from that group that's going?
Yeah, we were just building last year off of many things. Beginning of the year, we struggled because Evan was a 20-point-a-game scorer, sometimes more. Right. So it was hard replacing that and that big group of seniors. But they started to get their feet under them towards the end. We got some guys that are going to be returning, like Jeremy Cleveland this year. He should be a guy that should get us a lot of points. And we got some seniors that didn't play last year that I think are going to be ready to go as well.
You mentioned Jeremy. Jeremy is a terrific football player.
Yes.
Got hurt in his junior year. When you're watching football games, are you just there kind of holding your breath sometimes watching him play?
Man, I hold my breath every night. And as I got one banged up from football, the rest are relatively healthy.
Talk about leading up to this summer and everything you've done throughout the fall, whether you had all you guys there or not. Are you happy sort of with the progress y'all are making?
I definitely am, especially my junior group this year. They've made a big leap from their sophomore to now. I really love seeing that. My assistant coaches are starting to come in because they've also football coaches. They're like, man, what happened since the summer? Like, these guys got better. They're starting to grow into their own. So I'm very glad about that because I need the juniors with the seniors. It can't just be a senior-led team.
Right.
So it's definitely good to see that. And you may have some younger guys that are ready to come up as well.
Yeah, it creates a little depth along the way, right?
Absolutely.
If I go to your gym and I watch you play, say, in January, and I leave that gym, what's the one thing I'm going to say? I'm going to say, that Central Lafourche team is really good at?
We're very disciplined. We're a very disciplined team. Our defense would play off of energy. And recently we've held teams under about 50 points. So we've been having low scoring games. But the discipline is going to help everything else, offense and defense. Our offense, we struggle with shooting. This year we'll be better at that. But we're
so you think you
for
can
great
score the
shots.
ball better this year?
I definitely do. We got more shooters this year than last year. And that's going to help a lot with spacing for people like Jeremy to attack the basket. We got like Cash Lanegrass came as a sharpshooter towards the end of last year, came off the bench second half against Destrehan, had 15 points. So if he could start translating that now the whole season, that's going to help big time.
So happy to be joined by Jaworski Coleman, head coach of the Vanderbilt Catholic Lady Terriers, the reigning state champs. That's a great ring.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a great ring. Does it put pressure on you a little bit?
No, sir. Pressure is all about what you make it as. So no pressure.
I agree. And I don't think it should be. I just wondered how you were sort of internally thinking about it, like we have to uphold this. But I know if y'all go out there and do the things that you try and coach and you you'll be a happy person when it's all said and done.
Yes, sir. We just try to just play every game to the best of our ability and just push through every obstacle that we may come across.
Talk about your summer and your fall leading up to this. Obviously, it's a time where, champions are made in the off season, as they say.
Yeah.
Has it been a good one for you?
It's a good one. A lot of character building this summer. Summer didn't go as well as we thought we was going to go. I think it was just lack of confidence, I guess, because losing a big senior class. But this fall been amazing. Girls been pushing, really grinding. The conditioning is there. So now it's just staying healthy. I really feel right now we're still trying to define ourselves for a new group. So we're doing a whole bunch of different scenarios right now. So the main identity right now is going to have to be defined when we're playing, because that's when we're going to know what we can and cannot do. Our last class left a great mark. Tiana Stewart and Journey Johnson has really took the reins and really just been rolling with it. But the thing about it, they've been leaders. They've been having a voice in the program. Tiana started as an 8th grader in a quarterfinal game before, So like their experience of being leaders is already there, and they just taking the ball and rolling with it, and they're doing well. And the younger girls, especially our freshman class, have really gravitated towards them.
So Tiana and Journey are going to play on the next level, right?
Yes.
That being said, are you the kind of coach that, man, get that out the way before our season starts, or sit there and soak it all in and let's see what happens?
Soak it all in, because this is your life, it's their life, and I want them to have whatever experience that they want. I'm never going to choose for them. I'm never going to guide them to the wrong decision. I want whatever decision that they make is to be on them, because they got to be confident in that decision. And right now, Tiana's going to Nichols, and Journey's kind of undecided right now, but kind of leaning towards UL right now. So we'll see.
And somebody who's won a state championship may say, well, nothing less than another state championship is success. But it's a little deeper than that. How would you define success?
Success is, to me, is seeing those girls smile each day. The camaraderie between them and their parents. That's the big part for me. The whole family atmosphere. I want to see them smile and see my face when they walk across the stage for graduation, for high school and college. That's what success is for me.
It is my pleasure to be joined by Leon Bill, head basketball coach at Vanderbilt Catholic, a program that has been thriving the last few years under Coach Veal's leadership. 26 wins last year.
Yes, sir.
Do you ever look back at that and take it lightly? Because there's a lot that goes into it.
No, sir. I think the simple fact is just trying to get back to that 26 and improve on it, So it's never taken lightly. I think the last 3 years we had a great group of guys that really bought in. They were really good teammates, and they kind of jump started that program again. So I'm happy that we had the success, but let's continue to improve on it.
I didn't ask this to Jaworski, and I know you and he are close, and obviously he has success with his program. Is that something you'll sort of feed off of each other?
Oh yeah, it's a big family. Coach Coleman's at state championship, and I'm steady trying to chase after it. And I know he's trying to chase after number 2, So, we want to see each other successful. That's why we do so many things together. The girls and boys basketball team, he'll price against us. I'll pick his brain about certain things, and we go from there. It's just a big family. We want to see everybody succeed.
Quarterfinals, you drop a game to Hannon, which was a really good basketball game, a really good Hannon team, by the way, too. Have you been happy with the summer and the fall leading up to get ready to start all of this?
I have. I think we had a good summer. The only thing different this year, we had a lot more kids playing football this year. Usually I have an idea who I want to start by now. But we got so many kids playing football and a lot of new kids, which is good because they were able to get more time, more reps, preseason and the scrimmages that we've been having. So
did it affect how you scheduled early on? Did you kind of push it back a little bit, knowing you would have those football guys? Because a lot of schools do.
Oh yeah, and I just had a feeling last summer last season when I was starting to schedule. I pushed it. I think this the latest I ever played was December. Our first real game is like December 5th. I just had a feeling we're going to have a good football year, and I think December 5th, we probably still don't have our football player. I really think they're going to make it to the Dome this year. So we'll see. I'm going to say this team is going to play extremely hard. They're gonna be a scrappy bunch. Previous years we had score that could score a lot of points. I think this year's gonna come in as a team. I think we got one really good player, but I think he's so good at being a teammate that he's gonna get everybody around him better. And we're gonna be scrappy. We're gonna be diving on the floor. We're gonna be the team that just when you walk off the floor, you know you've been in a fight.
I am happy to be joined by Ashley Barber, head basketball coach of Thibodeau High School. Lady Tigers, a very successful program. That's kind of, and you're so humble about it and stuff. But when you think every year, I mean, the average is at least moving on into the second round and those things. Has it gotten to be a point where the girls sort of understand that this is what we are and this is how we have to advance and this is what we do?
We definitely talk to the girls about that, and the standards that we have for the program and the teams, and just let them. Every year at the beginning of the season, we kind of go over our history and talk about like what previous teams have done, and just to let them know like this is the standard that we're holding you guys to. So, I think it's amazing. We've been blessed with some great teams and some great athletes through the years.
Thibodeau's football program has never been bad, but it's not been like this year, right? Does that help? Like you? Is there an atmosphere around the school that just is conducive to winning?
Yeah. So Coach Lowell and the whole football, everybody that's kind of joined the coaching staff this year, it's just been a renewed, just a renewing of our culture. Everything that I feel like we've always been about, but the air is different, and I love everything that they're doing. I'm really happy for our football team. Those guys deserve it. And yeah, like it inspires me for sure. Like I want to work harder. I want to do just as much with my team and be as successful. So I know on my end of things, I can only speak for myself. He's definitely inspired me this year to just really push my girls to be even better.
So what has this summer and the fall been like? Has it been good?
Yeah, so my girls, they show up. That's one thing I could say about them. I commend them for that. If I tell them to be there, they'll be there. And they put in a lot of work and a lot of time in the gym. So I'm thankful for that. And I think that we've been able to have so much time together, and we're going to be a young team. So it's important that they do spend a lot of time together so they can build that chemistry on and off the court. So it's been good. I'm looking forward to seeing them compete a little bit this year, though. I have a junior that's actually played a little bit on the varsity side of things and actually started a few games. I even have a sophomore this year who started in last year's second round playoff game. So I have some kids who has some experience there, but for the most part, I mean, we're a new team. And it's special. It's exciting. I love what my junior group is doing. They've really shown some great leadership, and they want to set standards for these younger girls. And I have a talented group of sophomores and freshmen that I'm just excited to see work together this year.
It is my pleasure to be joined by Tony Clark, head coach of the Thibodeau High basketball program, along with serving as athletic director there for the Tigers. Thank you for being with us, sharing
thanks
a little
for
time.
having us.
Listen, last year was a year where you win 14 games and you could see it getting better and better.
Yeah.
If we culminate the last 2 or 3 years, it was always young and it was getting there. And we started to see it happening a little bit. Is that a fair assessment?
It's definitely a fair assessment. I think we doubled up wins from 2 years ago, which was a goal of ours. We only had one senior on that team. So we got a lot of experience coming back, so I'm expecting to improve on last year.
Did you, I guess the word would be learn something. Listen, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, God, wasn't it just like last year you won the state championship?
Well,
that being said,
yeah,
is that something where, I don't even know if it's asking if you learned something, but the kids have to understand every year is a different year?
Yeah, definitely. I think with all sports now, I mean, everything is different. You want to build from season to season, but it's just not like that no more. Every season is kind of its own unique season, starting with the summer. And, hopefully we can improve off of last season, even though it's going to be a little bit different.
When talking to some of the coaches in the area during basketball season last year, they were sort of like, yeah, we don't want to catch Thibodeau at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And you went in spurts.
Yeah.
You would group wins together and losses. Is that just a consistency?
a thing about a young team. It's just, yeah, like you said, it's not really consistent yet. Improving, but every game is not the same. You know, that focus is maybe off a little bit. Just the ability to get them to do it the right way all the time. You know, it's, you know, when you're young, it just don't happen like that. But I saw signs, which is a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, definitely.
Summer good. The fall.
Summer was good. Summer was real good. Funny thing about the summer, having the new football coach, Coach Narcisse, and I got so many kids that play football. The start was rough because they were also working out the football, and he was putting them through some pretty tough stuff. So they would get to me pretty much out of it, you know. Yeah. But that's all good. You know, I think we only lost one game this summer. Everybody was there. They worked hard. And they know what we expect going into the season. They starting to understand how to play man-to-man defense the way we want. You know, I love ball pressure. You got to give a team one shot. You got to rebound it. Then you got to go look for your shot. You know, that's the way we play. And I saw some signs of that this summer.
It is my pleasure to have Nick Sinak here with us. Nick, the head coach of the E.D. White Lady Cardinals basketball program, a program last year that was ultra successful as you went in the number 4 seed,
yes, sir.
without mistake, into the playoffs, over 25 wins on the year. You know, sustaining, that's the big question. You do it every year. I know Emily Cortez is now playing elsewhere. I have seen some of those young girls you have too coming in. Talk about what it's been like and what we might expect.
Yeah. Tradition never graduates. That's what we try to say. It's kind of the thing we live by. But it's tough sometimes to sustain. It takes a lot of work. But no, we've had a great off season, great preseason. Our summer was great. We do have a lot of new faces and kids coming in. So we're still trying to build. A lot of volleyball players out right now. So, I mean, that's always a challenge, but one that I'm accustomed to, and I will always be accustomed to, hopefully, as long as I'm at E.D. White, because they'll be playing in pretty far every year. But no, I think for us to get back where we were, I mean, we got to continue to just work hard. We have a great buy-in, which is awesome. Our kids have worked really hard this offseason. And, you know, I can't say we're going to be back where we were, but we're going to do everything we can in our power to compete and let the cards fall as they may. You know, PowerPoints can only get you so far. If you haven't tested yourself at some point in the season, win, lose, well, not draw, but win or lose, you got to test yourself. So this year, I've kind of ventured a little bit away from my former PowerPoint mindset and just being like, okay, let's look at some PowerPoint games, but let's also get some teams on our schedule that they're going to challenge us and they're going to be really good, because come February, that's what you're going to see in the playoffs. And if you haven't prepared for that, then you can get as far as you want. You're not going to get over that hill. And that's kind of where we are right now as a program. And it's great to be a 4 seed, and it's great to get to the quarterfinals, and it's great for your program and everything. But eventually you want to win. You want to get over that hump, get to the semis and get to the state championship. So
how has the summer and the fall leading up to all of this been?
Yeah, summer, look, kind of going back into my theory, this summer we played a brutal schedule. I mean, we got out and played a lot of really good teams, Parkview Baptist, U High, Walker. I mean, we were really testing ourselves. And we got our butts whooped a little bit, but I think it was a great eye-opening experience. And by the end of the summer, the last 2 weeks, we were very competitive. I mean, we went out and competed with some really good teams. And then in the off season, leading up to, to now, when we have our scrimmages and jamborees next week, our kids have been super competitive. Our practices have been intense. We've really worked hard. Our motto this year is be different. We want to do, we want to be different in regards to our preparation, because, you know, would they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different outcome. So we've changed up a lot of what we've done. Our practices are more intense. We're really getting after it, but the kids have bought into it and they're working really hard. So I'm proud of them.
It is my pleasure to have Dylan Anderson, head basketball coach for the Lady Braves over at H.L. Bourgeois High School. A terrific year last year, by the way. Congratulations on that.
Yes, sir.
A playoff team. You did, listen, y'all were a team that, in talking to other people around the area, it's like, man, we don't want to play H.L. Heap on a certain night. At the end, it got a little streaky for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Talk about that and what you would like to improve on this year with that team?
Yeah, absolutely, man. As the season got deeper in, we was definitely a little streak, went on a 10-game win streak, but we had some hit or misses nightly. Especially when we got to district. We was in district before, it was pretty hot. We hit a little slump. We went 3-3 in district, losing some games that I felt like we should have been able to overcome and, do a better job of being 3-3. But like I told the girls, it's stepping stone, learning experience. Okay, now this year being a veteran team, it shouldn't be any excuses. We didn't been through it all.
You talked about that, a veteran team. But I saw your preview sheet. I was like, oh my goodness, look at this. This could be like really good. Has the summer and the fall been going well for you?
Yeah, well, we just got all the girls back. So yesterday was our first real practice with everyone. Summer was a little rough because we had 2 ACL injuries, ankle injuries and stuff like that. So that was a little rough for us as far as injury wise. But when we played together, it was pretty good.
Very good. In thinking of like the basketball season approaching, I'm going to give it a little time, but I go out to your gym in January and watch you girls play. What am I going to come out of that gym so impressed with about your girls play?
For the most part, I would say our aggressiveness and how hard we play from start to finish. They play really hard to the point where sometimes in practice I'm scared to scrimmage because they play so hard. So I would say that's one of the things, like, hey, those girls play hard.
Very good. Finish this statement. At the end of the basketball season, when you're looking back, I am going to be happy and I am going to say we were successful if what happens. Because some coaches will say, man, it's win a state championship or bust, and some are going to say, I got to win the district championship. But some are more realistic and they just hoping for that something. What would you be happy with?
I would say just doing something as far as being better than last year. I told the girls who my seniors has been stepping stones since they being a freshman at HL Bourgeois. Freshman year was a little rough. Sophomore year, my first year there, we was better than the year before, but still wasn't as great. Last year, we was a first-round playoff team. Now, can we win a district or can we go past the first round? So just small improvement, just be better than what we was last year, better than we was the day before.
It is my pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the HL Bourgeois Braves, Andrew Cayouette. We saved the best for last. See, that was good, huh?
I told him we saved the oldest, the ugliest, so you take your pick.
Listen, here's the funny part. It's like we're not here to like mess with Coach Cayouette, but you're the one like everybody's gunning for this year too.
I think it says something about our program that we don't just have a team, we have a program. And look, we signed 3 kids 2 years ago and we won a district title. We came back, we won a district title. We signed 3 kids last year. We coming back, we have 5 seniors now. And, the expectations are to have success again. And look, of course, there's a chance to have success because we're dealing with 15 to 18-year-old young men, and you never know what's going to happen with them. And but I tell you, I like the depth of our program. We're going to graduate 5 this year, and that's going to be 5 of our top 7. And I'm telling you, we're going to be pretty good again next year because just the depth of our program is pretty solid.
Very good. District championship last year. You go into the playoffs. I think y'all were around 17 or so when you go in. The interesting thing about that is sometimes I hear coaches talking about, man, we sort of did everything we could. I mean, we won a district championship. We won right at about 20 games. And I couldn't get that seeding up. Is it still a science when you schedule?
I think it is, but honestly, I don't play the science. And I know a lot of coaches do. I try to schedule as tough as I think our kids can handle. And honestly, it's basically the same schedule as last year. I tweaked a couple of things, but I think you just got to go out and win more early season games. And I thought we were ready for that last year. And I guess in retrospect, we weren't quite ready for that. So I anticipate that we're ready for it. We're ready for the Rummels and the South Sides and the people like that. I mean, I know we have a lot of respect around the state. I mean, I know a lot of people respect us, not just because of me, not just because of our kids. I think, like you said, just it's the program. And that's a powerful feeling when you feel you have a solid program. When I played the varsity kids this summer, we lost 1 game this summer to Archbishop Hannon that just won a state championship. and they beat us by 3. And it was a game. It was a great game. Coach Goff and I both said after, boy, that game's going to do both of us a lot of good. And look, sure, you like to win, but look, I've been around long enough. Summer is summer, and summer doesn't mean anything. And I've had great summers, and you've been really good, but I've had great summers, and you've not been very good.
Always nice to have those basketball coaches in. I think they have a terrific time. They are fed. They get to mingle. They get to talk amongst each other. Dustin and I kind of sit around and do the interviews. Those guys are really nice. The only thing that I went too long with a lot of them because they're friends, so we kind of sat around and talked. But always a nice time, right, Dustin?
Good time. Yeah,
very good time. We appreciate everything that they do. Go out and catch a high school football, volleyball, basketball game. A lot of jamborees going on this week related to basketball, so we're happy to be there to support those kids along the way. That's it for us. We're going to take a week off. We'll be back next Monday giving you lots of results and talking about what's going to happen that next upcoming week. Take care, everybody.